Hello and welcome to this pattern recognition video featuring the skewer, which is kind of the opposite of a pin. In a pin, you attack a piece and it cannot move, or the more valuable piece behind it will be captured. But in the skewer, kind of the opposite, you attack a more valuable piece, forcing that valuable piece to get out of the way, and then you can grab the piece behind it. All right. Let's see here. I'll try and do at least 10 puzzles that you can solve along with me. Pause at any time. And remember, when you do puzzles, if you do them once and then never look at them again, you'll kind of forget a lot of what you learned. But if you go over them multiple times, it takes about 7 times to go over something to burn it into your long-term memory, and that'll help you improve your pattern recognition skills. All right, so here we have the queen centralizing, aiming at the king here. What can we do? Do we have some type of skewer that we can perform here? Well, let's take a look. All right, so we want to attack a more valuable piece. We could just, maybe move our rook here, attacking the queen. And if the queen moves, maybe we can grab this bishop. But what if the queen just decides to move here and it still protects the bishop? All right, so maybe we have to look for something a little better. Oh, no, I think that might still work. So take a look at it, see if you can figure it out yourself, and try to do the complete puzzle. When you're doing puzzles, solving tactics, you want to try and do as much as you can in your head before you actually make moves. So I'm thinking we attack here. If the queen goes here, the only place that will protect this bishop, then we can just attack the queen here. And what can the queen do? The knight is protecting that pawn. All right, here we go. An attack. Then we attack the queen backed up by our knight, and that allows us to go ahead and pick off the bishop here. So there we go. That was rated 1707. I made the rating levels from 500 to 2000 because you already know that you're looking for a skewer. So I thought if I bump the difficulty up a little bit, you still should be all right. Even more beginner players, because you know what you're looking for. You're looking to attack a more valuable piece, and then if it has to move, you can capture the piece behind it. All right, on to the next problem. Here we go. We just had what, a pawn capturing pawn? Okay. Well, we are looking for another skewer here. So how can we go about doing it? All right, this is more interesting here. So see if you can figure this one out. And remember, you're trying to attack a more valuable piece, and then by doing that, that piece will have to move, and then you capture the less valuable piece. But sometimes you don't always attack a piece. You might be aiming for a square. So that's a clue. Hopefully that'll help you figure it out. Pause if you need more time. If not, here we go. So we want to move one of our rooks, maybe here, attacking the queen. But the queen could just sidestep and guard the rook here. So maybe then we have to capture the rook. The queen will recapture. Then we bring the other rook into the game, attacking the queen, and it's backed up by our bishop. And if that queen moves, we will be able to deliver a back rank mate thanks to our bishop covering this diagonal. So, maybe that'll work. Take a look at it, see if you can figure it out in your head. If not, here we go. But the one thing I'm wondering if it matters which rook we move. And what could happen is if we bring a rook here, queen could capture, rook could capture, and then if their rook captures, our bishop will capture, and we'll be ahead a bishop for a pawn. So I think either way will be good. All right, I'll just bring this rook over. They don't like that. Now, does it make a difference which rook you move? What about this one? See, I'm not sure why that made a difference there. Oh, okay. Yeah, an easy oversight here. So if you noticed, if we brought the other rook over and left this rook here, the queen would be able to capture with check. But I don't know. Then we could block and attack the queen. All right, either way, here we go. And now we deliver the back rank mate. All right, yeah, that one was rated 1978. A little tricky there. I hope you did well. So let's see how the next problem goes. All right. The rook has just backed away from an attack by the king here. So it's our turn with the black pieces. What can we do here? All right. Once again, this one's a little tricky, and we have to set the skewer up here. And that's why knowing the skewer pattern will help you in a situation like this where you don't have an immediate skewer, but you have to try and set one up. Okay, so what we're going to do, pause if you want to figure this out and take more time. If not, here we go. We're going to attack the king. Okay, and if the king were to hide here, then we could just deliver a mate by bringing the rook here to g1. So once we go here, checking the king will have to run to e2. Then we can move our rook to e1, attacking the king. And let's see if that will be a mate. No, the king will be able to run to here, to d3. And then finally, we bring our rook here, attacking the king. So, performing the skewer, the king will have to move, and we can pick off the rook. So here we go. See if you can figure all that out on your own. So check. First we check, forcing the king onto the open file, lining up with the rook, and then we can pick off the rook here. So that's what you're looking for. In skewers, you want to find pieces that are lined up on one another, either diagonally or in a straight line, horizontally or vertically, up and down the board, left and right. All right, on to the next problem. We had a pawn push forward here. What do we want to do? Okay, the pawn is pushed forward, and this pawn's about to promote to a queen. So what can we do? Well, If we move to E1, the king will just move forward and try and push that pawn. But do we have any other choice? We could check the king. But then once again, that king will just press forward. Okay, so yes, here's the way to win. Or at least try to win here. Maybe we can get a draw out of it. So I'm thinking we can attack the unprotected pawn. If this pawn just promotes, then we can capture the pawn with check, forcing the king to move to the b file. Then we move back here, attacking the king. But does that work? Because if we move here, he promotes, we capture the pawn, the king could move up here. And then we can't move over here and perform a skewer. So it gets a little trickier than I thought here. So maybe we have to check. And if the king just moves up, we can go back, to here and guard this square. Yeah, so this one's a little trickier than I expected. All right. If we go up here, the king could just try and protect. Then we could drop back down to E1, preventing that pawn from promoting, but then this pawn could start rolling. All right. Well, I don't know. It looks like we want to go there. The king moves up and protects. Well, then what do we do? Do we drop back down to E1? All right, that's what I'm thinking. Hopefully you're having a little better luck than I am. This one's a little tricky to get started with. All right. Well, here we go. Nope, they don't like that one. All right, what else can we do? Do we deliver a check? Nope, they don't like that. So they want us to go here. No. Huh. Wow, this one is pretty crazy. Huh. All right, well, I hope you're having better luck than I am. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, we don't want to go there. They don't want us going after that pawn, and they don't want us going here. So what are the other options? Push the pawn? No. Push this pawn. Oh, come on. This one is ridiculous. No check. Come on. This one is starting to drive me nuts here. I hope you found the answer to this one. See, they don't want any of the common moves. Do we move the king? No. This doesn't make any sense. All right, do we move the pawns? Move the pawns? No. Move the king here? No. Move the king here? Oh my gosh. Do we just take the pawn? What? Okay, so that was a difficult one to find. They wanted us to take the pawn, and now we have to, push forward here. Okay. And then we're going to perform a skewer this way. Because now, if he pushes forward, we promote and then skewer the king and queen. The king will move. We pick off the queen. He takes our queen, but then our other pawn will promote. Wow, that one was a little tricky. That was 1850 rated. So hopefully we'll get some that are a little bit easier. Because if you make them too difficult, then it's more about calculation practice instead of pattern recognition. But either way, you need to learn both. Okay, on to the next one. The king has moved forward. All right, what can we do here? Okay, we can set up the skewer here. All right, hopefully you figured this one out. This must be a pattern that I'm more familiar with, so I'm able to find it more quickly. And that's something else, that another reason that it's good to go over chess puzzles regularly. Like that last one, that was a pattern that I, obviously wasn't familiar with. At least the beginning of it, the end pattern I was, but here, I'm more familiar with this. So we're going to set the skewer up here by capturing, and then once the king captures, our bishop will land here, skewering the king and the rook. All right, so hopefully you got that one. And here we go. We grab a rook and we're ahead in material there. All right, on to the next one. We have knight and queen roaming around our king, getting ready to harass us. So what can we do before they are able to start checking us and running our king around the board? Well, okay, we have a bishop and a queen, which are both good for skewering. All right, and we might have a good pattern here that can help you. I'm thinking about moving up here. Okay, I mean, the queen could block, but we could just capture that. So if the queen doesn't block and the king just moves, the king is kind of limited on where it can move. Now notice if the king moves here and our bishop and queen are lined up on this square, we could deliver a mate here, because we would be attacking here with the queen, and here. And these two pawns, the only areas we're not covering with the queen, would be blocking the king's escape. So, if we attack with the queen, the king will probably move out this way towards the center to avoid a mate. We could still go here. Another interesting pattern where the queen will cover here and here, 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 and down through the middle. The only squares the queen will not cover are here and here. So the king will be forced to move here. And then what could we do next? Will that be able to set up a skewer? All right, let's take another look at everything. So queen check, king moves here. We can go here, checking the king, and the king will have to move here. Okay, now if we try and move here and skewer king and queen, the king would be able to move forward here or here to protect. So I don't know if that would work. But I don't know. That looks to be all that they are giving us. So once again, check on the king. King is pretty much forced to go here. Now what? Do we just continue checking the king? I don't know. I think we have to set up a skewer. So if we go check, king moves up, we check the king here, forcing the king to move up. Then what? Maybe we just go after the queen and we would be ahead by an extra pawn. Maybe that would be enough to win. All right, here we go. All right, so maybe that's what we want to do. Just trade the queens off, because I'm not seeing anything, any great way to win here. Okay. Well, now we can deliver a check on the king. So yeah, and that's what makes puzzle practice worthwhile. You'll notice that I didn't calculate deep enough. So as you practice more puzzles and tactics, you'll be able to slowly calculate deeper into the line, and that'll help you avoid overlooking a move like I just did there. All right, on to the next one. The king has moved towards the center, attacking our rook, but our other rook is backing it up. What can we do here? Okay. Hopefully you figured this one out. Well, let me double check to make sure that I figured it out. We can use our rook battery here to our advantage. But how is it best to do that? Okay. See if you can figure this one out. Pause if you need more time. If not, here we go. So I'm going to move this rook up here, attacking the king. And that will force the king to move forward, because this rook is covering any escape in that direction. This rook will be covering an escape there. But does that work though? Okay, if we go here, where can the king go? If the king goes here, of course, we can skewer. Well, yeah, we'll skewer and take the queen. So, if we go there, the king could go here. So maybe that doesn't work so well. Oh, okay. We gotta do what I said. Calculate a little bit deeper. So if we go here, the king will not want to move up to c3 because then we can move a rook and just skewer king and queen. So the king will move instead here. So then that allows us to attack with this rook, delivering a check. So then what? If the king, moves back on the c file, we can skewer king and queen. So he would have to move here. That would allow us to pick off the bishop, but no matter what, we'll be ahead. So cap or attack. Attack. Yeah, and now we can just skewer king and queen. All right. So we had to set that one up a little. So let me know in the comments if I should have made these a little easier, because now we're getting down to maybe more calculation than we are patterns, but at least at the end you get to see skewer patterns where you attack the more valuable piece in front, and when it moves you can pick off the less valuable piece behind it. All right, try to get 3 more problems in. Here we go. A pawn is pushing forward, getting closer to promotion. So what should we do here? With the black pieces, if we promote our pawn, up here the rook can just capture. So do we block, get behind our passed pawn? Then the rook would be able to move and check us. And then we could just move and then promote our pawn. All right. Let's take a look at that. If we go here, if the rook just captures, we capture, then he can push forward. We promote. He promotes. Oh, then we can go here, attacking the king, cutting off his escape. He'll have to move onto the H file, and then we can check and skewer king and queen. So there we go, a skewer pattern there at the end. All right, 2 more problems to go. Bishop has just attacked us, kind of setting up a skewer here, attacking this more valuable queen. And if we move, the bishop will attack, capture pawn and be attacking a rook and can pick off that rook. So what can we do here? What do we have? You know, you want to look for checks, captures, and threats. You know, in any tactic problems. You know, because that's a good way. You know, and do it in that order because checks are the most forcing. We could just move here, checking the king. And when a king is being checked, there are only three options or less. So capture the attacker, which would not be possible here. Block the attacker, which is possible by moving this pawn up, but we could just capture that or run. And you know, if we go here and the king runs here, well, then we could mate on f7, backed up by our pawn. And maybe, oh, there is one other option. The king could just run forward. You know, and then if we check, the king would be able to run out to here. Oh, and then we can deliver the skewer. All right. Well, hopefully you figured that one out. And the skewer. So we grab the queen. All right, the final problem. Here we go. Good luck. I hope you're able to find it. Here's the final problem. King has just moved forward. We have the white pieces. What can we do here? All right. Okay, a little tricky. Look for the checks first. I mean, we have multiple checks. The queen could go here, but that doesn't do much as far as skewering. The queen could go here, but the king could run back here. You know, the king doesn't want to go onto the E file, or it will be captured. Or excuse me, the king doesn't want to go on the E file, or it'll be skewered and the queen will be captured. So maybe we attack first with the pawn, checking. And if the king moves forward, we could check, but the king could move here. And if we check, you know, trying to skewer, the king could move here and still guard the queen. Oh, but then we could swing along this diagonal, forcing the king back, grabbing the queen and protecting the promotion square. So that's pretty tricky. Hopefully you can figure that one out. Try and calculate it out. You know, pause if you need more time. If not, let's take a look at this one more time. So we're going to push the pawn up, delivering a check. The king cannot go back because of the queen covering these squares and covering this. If the king comes forward, we can try and skewer. The king tries to protect the queen, then we'll skewer in this direction. So it's like a double skewer. All right, here we go. All right, we deliver the skewer. Oh, and the king just runs away, so that's even better. That made it even easier instead of the king running here. So you see what I'm saying? If the king goes here, we could have gone here, delivering the skewer. The king could go here and promote the pawn. We'd have to give up our queen for the pawn here, but we'd have other pawns that could promote. All right, so this just makes it easier. We capture. And now we're covering this. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed those 10 problems. I'll stop there and let me know in any comments if I should have made those a little bit easier because they were a little tricky, some of them. All right. Feel free to leave comments, like and subscribe to support the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and have a super chess day.